Here at the Brave New Teaching Podcast, we are always looking for the newest, most engaging, and fantastic books for you, the teachers, to step up your game and enhance your practice. And we have a brand new book recommendation for you that we just couldn't wait for an entire episode to share. If you are looking for a professional development book that's going to serve you over this winter break, or maybe even as a gift to a fellow educator, we have got your next recommendation. You need to check out Roll Call by Dr. Jenna Copper. As you know, Dr. Jenna Copper is one of the greatest friends we have over here at the podcast. You have downloaded her interview with Marie almost more than any other episode. So I know that a lot of you have heard Jenna and her work and what she's up to. So not only should you listen to that episode, but you need to check out Jenna's brand new book. This book is phenomenal. And as you know, Dr. Copper is an education professor and former English teacher. So she's in everything from teaching students to teaching teachers. And she has written the ultimate guide to creating lessons that will really and truly captivate your students while still meeting those all-important standards. This book, Roll Call, is packed with practical strategies and innovative ideas that will transform your classroom. And for a very special bonus time, Jenna is offering an exclusive perspective plan toolkit absolutely free when you purchase Roll Call. It's going to be so awesome, and you are going to love all of the new ideas that you get. You can buy Jenna's book right now on Amazon. So head over to Amazon.com. Find your copy of Roll Call, and then once you have your order, you're going to go to rollcallbonus.com. That's ROLECALLBONUS.com, Roll Call Bonus, or head to today's show notes and claim your free perspective plan toolkit. It's a freebie right now when she's launching her book for the very first time. It's not going to linger around for very long. Your students will thank you, and you're going to thank you, because this is going to make you feel good about teaching and really amp up your energy. We're so excited for you to read it yourselves and let us know what you think. Talk to you soon and enjoy the show.
Well, hello and welcome back to Brave New Teaching. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Marie, and hello, teachers. How's everybody doing?
I still can't believe, even though we're well past it, that we are finally out of January.
Spring is here, and I'm all about looking into the future of spring and books and smelling something in the air other than coldness.
Smelling cold.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I just can't get over how long the beginning of 2025 felt. I mean, it always does.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I'm still not recovered. I tell you, still not recovered.
Well, good smelling books and wet earth are on their way. And that's all we're going to focus on today.
I do get very excited. There's something about spring, and I don't know if it does have to do with spring and things being renewed and green coming back, but I do get really into just finding new titles and exploding my TBR list during spring. And I think part of it is because I have spring break coming, and I have these dreams that I'm going to be able to read 3 books a day.
Obviously.
The single week that we have off of school during the spring. I don't know why I tell myself that, and I lie to myself, but it's fun. Gets me through the day.
It does. Well, you're getting a little bit more daylight, so that makes you feel like you can do more. But true. And there's a lot of books that are not released until spring. I feel like when I look at those lists that come out around Christmas time and New Year's, it's anticipated releases for 25, but nothing's really released in January. Everything's coming out.
It's all March and April. Yes, exactly.
And that's what this episode is all about. But
really
before we do books, we have some homework to give you all.
Yes, friends. We have some upcoming episodes that we want to prepare you for. And so Amanda has the details. It's really not hard homework, but it is homework so that we can have a really informed professional discussion about things that we're all talking about anyways.
So Marie and I have talked about doing more things like this, and this is the first time we're really kind of stepping out and going for it. But we would love to do a 2-part. We're not love to do. We're recording it. It's happening.
Yes, it's coming.
A 2-part episode starting next week. And it's our reaction video, if you will, to the article from the Atlantic issue of November 2024. And the article is entitled The Elite College Students Who Can't Read Books. And this article is not the first thing that's ever come out telling us things we already know.
Right.
But it really is one of the first and most recent things that's caught the attention of a pretty wide range of people. And I think that's what's intriguing to me is the attention it's caught, the reactions I've heard from other people that are not in education that are really kind of fascinating. And I think that it would be really fun for Marie and I to do our take on the article. Plus, back in January and February, we had you guys call in and write in with your thoughts and feedback on this article. And so we're going to be discussing it. So in order to be part of the episode, it would behoove you to give it a little peek. It's short. It's a 3-page skim fest. It's not not challenging. It's interesting, but I think that you'll get a lot more out of the conversation if you've read it.
Well, and it's one of those things, like, it's gonna, for me, doing this kind of like reading to prepare for something, like, scratches the college student itch.
Yes.
Of like, oh yes, I annotated that too. But yeah, we also really do want to hear from all of you, because, like, obviously Amanda has her experience in the classroom and then her observations with the teachers that she works with. I have my experience with my students that I have right here, right now, every day. And it's never not been a bit of a fight to get kids to really engage with reading, right? Like, that's just how it is. But damn, in recent years, it's a different, I'm excited for us to talk about it with more vocabulary than I have right now, because I sound like a bumbling fool because I'm so excited to talk about books and I keep looking at my list. Like, I keep looking at the pictures of all the books that we're going to talk about, but it's never quite felt like this kind of a struggle, getting kiddos to just commit to trying. Yeah.
Well, and I think that that's something that we really want to break down in our, kind of our reaction is we're going to react to the article itself, what's been presented in the article. I think we'll be able to talk to kind of some of the causes and effects that we see from where we stand, both as parents,
from our,
in the PD world, even like as I can't call myself a recent college graduate, but I mean, I was, I don't think that this is too far removed from even my college experience with, big old stacks of reading lists that people weren't doing. Everyone was fake reading when I was in college too. So anyway, it'll be interesting. And then if those of you who have asked, you don't need to have a subscription to the Atlantic to read it.
Right.
Surprise, surprise. I contacted my library because we're cool, right? Like, the transformation is real. Like, I am at the point where I can like chat bot with my library and be like, it's fine. No one's judging me.
But I library girly. Yeah.
Well, I first tried to find editions of the Atlantic on Libby, and I couldn't get the Atlantic on Libby. But then I just messaged the library and they said, oh yeah, well, we have Flipster. So your library might also have Flipster. And all I had to enter my library card, and I had access to every single edition in modern history.
Yeah. And there's a podcast episode as well that is talking about the article. So it's not exactly the article, but at least, if it's something that, if that's all you can get access to, that would probably also be helpful in preparation for our little conversation. And like Amanda said,
we'll put it on the show notes for you.
Yeah, we'll put it on the show notes for you. We would really like to hear your thoughts during and after like these episodes. So send them our way. Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
Let's dig in. Yes.
Because talk about weird anticipated books for 2025.
I know. And after we have just talked and talked and talked, do you know what we still need to do though? Do you? You do, don't you?
Do I?
Yes. Before we talk about these books, it's time to cue the music.
You're You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a high school teacher from Southern California.
Join us after the show and happy hour to extend your VNT experience with instant access to our resources, workshops, and courses.
Visit shop.bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to join us today. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show. All right, let's make my TBR list even more ungodly long. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's spend money. Spend money we don't have.
Guess what's coming out in April?
What's coming out in April?
A new Emily Henry book.
Dude, I know. I really didn't expect to like Emily Henry books as much as I do.
I'm still not I'm not a fan of every single one. I like some and I don't like others. But I'm like, I'm ready to find out if I like the next one.
I think I'm going to like this one. It looks really good. I'm excited. Yes. So it's called Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And it's one of the most anticipated books of 2025 by the New York Times.
Okay.
Actually, by a bunch. New York Times, Rolling Stone, USA Today, Harper's Bazaar, BBC, Pop Sugar, She Reads, and more.
Okay, so it's two writers that compete for the chance to tell the larger-than-life story of a woman with more than a couple of plot twists up her sleeve in this dazzling and sweeping new novel from Emily Henry.
I'm all in. You had me at two novels, two novelists. Listen.
They're competing.
They're competing. What could go wrong?
Will they, won't they? Will they, won't they?
Yes. And how are they going to both get the job that they want?
I don't know.
I'm all in.
Their big break, right?
Yes. Yes. And it helps me live vicariously the life of I don't know. I had this Carrie Bradshaw idea in my head when I was younger, like that. And even though I have no desire to actually live that life, but I can just be so literary and writery.
Well, okay. So even the little teasers got kind of book lovers vibes, right? Alice Scott is an eternal optimist, still dreams of her big break. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud. They're both on this balmy little island for the same reason, to write the biography of this woman. So
I want to go on a balmy little island. I don't want to read a biography, but I'll read one.
I mean, that sounds good. I'm all in. I think that these are absolutely the books I love to break up. I'm a doom and gloom reader a lot of times.
Yes, you are.
A little bit.
Correct.
I am really enjoying breaking that up. So I will be looking forward to getting.
Well, and we wanted to start today, speaking of breaking things up, with a book that's this is not for students. The other books here are, in fact, I think most of our list is YA, if not all, except for Emily Henry. That is not YA, people. This is just A.
It's just for us. Because we read that stuff too.
So that's where we wanted to start.
Let's talk about something more depressing.
Like a John Green novel. The title's about tuberculosis.
Oh my gosh. Everything is tuberculosis. It comes out
John Green
pretty soon. And it's nonfiction. So John Green, which comes as a surprise to no one, has been obsessed with tuberculosis for his whole life.
I know. And it's the first sentence of the little blurb is tuberculosis has been entwined with humanity for millennia. Once romanticized as a malady of poets, today tuberculosis is seen as a disease of poverty. He keeps going. But there's just, I mean, I don't know if you follow John Green on social media.
Yes.
I mean, since he has gotten older and since his days of the beginning of Crash Course, I've just gotten more and more intrigued by him and his brain, frankly.
His brain is amazing. Well, and really, it looks like this is a book for, an advocate, and it's advocating for global healthcare reform. And I think that he's looking at it through the lens of this one particular disease. And with his writing, he's going to do an absolutely stunning job. It's going to be funny. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be all of these things and completely unique. And I mean, I'm sure it's going to be sad, but I'm totally going to read it.
It's also going to be insanely researched. No, yeah. So I don't know that that's the YA that I was talking about either, but that's one that we are looking forward to simply because while it sounds so doomy gloomy, I do want to see his take on everything because he does always have I find one of the things I like about John Green is that even when he's talking about some of the deepest and darkest parts of humanity and like world history, he does have an air of hope. Like
Always.
he believes in the human spirit. And so that always shines through. And so that is something that like, okay, maybe I can stomach this one, even though I've been avoiding really serious books at all costs lately.
I read Turtles All the Way Down last year for the first time, and that's exactly
Yeah.
how I felt about Turtles. Was even in the most like panic-stricken moments of this poor girl and her, her fear of disease and her fear of, right,
Yeah.
all these different things that are inside of her body. There was just such humor and hope at every
Yeah.
turn. And I mean, it's laugh out loud funny usually too with teenagers. So I'm excited
Sure.
about that one.
Yeah.
And John
I am
Green,
too.
if you're listening, come on the podcast. We'd love to have you.
John Green, if you're listening, I'm floored.
You too, Emily Henry. Come on over.
You too. Come on over. You know, you guys are listening to a podcast for secondary English teachers. You know it.
Yes.
Obviously. Okay. Let's
go to some other ones, Marie. What else is pulling at you? I know you're looking at covers.
Listen, I cannot wait for this new Hunger Games novel to come out.
Really? Okay, I have finished. I was like, after Mockingjay, I didn't keep going.
So I
haven't
listened to the songbird of, what is it?
Snakes and serpents and
Snakes and butts. That one was fine. In my opinion, that one was fine. But I don't know why. I'm just so much more excited about this one.
Okay, what is the premise of this one?
So it's back to like the characters that I know and that I don't know, like care about a little bit more. It's about Haymitch. So it's Haymitch's story.
I do love Haymitch.
I do too.
Okay.
What's his last name? Abernathy. Haymitch Abernathy. And so it's when he goes to it's a quarter quell, and it's when he goes into the Hunger Games, and he goes into the arena.
Okay,
yeah?
I would read this.
Yes. So to me, it feels like a good old Hunger Games book is how it feels to me.
Okay. All right. I should probably pre-order that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. So this is called March 18th. It's coming right out. Yeah.
I know. Sunrise on the Reaping. And so, yes.
On the Reaping.
That one I'm excited about. Let's see. The Last Bookstore on Earth.
Yes, I want to read this one.
I really want to read this one. The Last Bookstore on Earth is by Lily Braun Arnold, and it's already out. It came out in January. What are we doing here?
Oh, good.
Why are we reading it?
There were a couple that did come out super early.
Okay, cool. I thought this was one of the April ones, but that's fine. So The Last Bookstore on Earth, the cover is really cool. It's definitely like got the like dark with like flower vine vibes, but then it's got like fires bursting out all over the place. And so it's a very me-coded cover. The only thing it's missing is like dragon scales and like a sword, but that's fine.
Okay, yes. This is the one I was reading the reviews that said it kind of blends Station 11 and The Last of Us, which
yes.
The Last of Us, have you watched The Last of Us yet, Marie?
I have not.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm not really a Star Wars person, and I never really got like the Pedro Pascal hype. Like I never had watched anything with him in it.
Okay.
I think what most people know him from Star Wars. But
he's been in a few things, but that's what he's, I think, gained the most notoriety for is that, yeah.
And like just being adorable. But yes. His big role is in The Last of Us, and that is a TV series based on a video game. So you can't read that book, but you can watch the series, and it's amazing. It's like it's got some of the most stunning single episodes of TV I've ever seen, and it's a dystopian, apocalyptic. I mean, all of that.
Yes.
So I'm sold.
Well, I want to see if this one, because it is dystopian, right? I want to see how this one could line up possibly with Fahrenheit.
Yeah, we need to read it because I also know it's a romance. Yeah. I don't know how much of it is romance.
I want to know how spicy this romance is, because if this is something that I can bring into my classroom as like in our 10th grade classes in my school, there's a whole dystopian like quarter basically. And so if this is something that we could add into the Gracier, like to that whole,
that would be awesome.
Lit Circle unit, that would be so good. Yeah. So that one's definitely on my list. I'm very much looking forward to that one.
I mean, if Sunrise on the Reaping is good, you probably could put that in there too, because
Yeah, you're
kids
totally
are like
right.
over Hunger Games. It's like a book for old people born in the 1900s.
I know. Well, some of them they've kind of come around. Like they feel like they're being super edgy because they're
Rediscovering
like,
it,
yeah, exactly. Yes,
like
no, that's
baggy
exactly
pants.
it.
Like, oh, baggy pants.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're
Uh-huh.
like, have you ever worn low rise? And I'm like, get away from me. Never speak to me again. Never speak to me again, low rise. Get out of here with your stupid low rise.
In May, Adam Silvera's second book in his series, if you guys read They Both Die at the End, the second book is coming out, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. That'll be out in May, which is exciting. I was asking Marie about this earlier. I have not
Yeah.
finished They Both Die at the End, but the concept, right, is that the society where they basically find out about their death within like 24 hours of when it's coming. So yeah, it's kind of exciting.
Yes, and it's how they like grapple with that and their relationship to death.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so that one, gosh, what year did that come out at? Like 2019, 2020?
Maybe.
Something like that. So this is the second in the series, but it's like been highly anticipated. Like I remember my students loving They Both Die at the End. So
Well,
I'm
and
sure.
Adam Silvera is amazing. So, okay, so Paz Dario stays up every night waiting for the death cast call. That would mean he doesn't have to keep faking his way through his lonely life. After a devastating day, Paz decides he's done waiting around for the death cast. If they say he's not dying, he'll just have to prove them wrong. But right before Paz can die, a boy saves his life.
Yes. And it does, there are, every time you look at something about this one, especially, there are content warnings
Oh, big time.
because it's got some pretty, I mean, like, it's got some pretty heavy, dark themes that not all of us and not all of our students can handle. So, at any given time. So, yeah, that's something to just kind of like think through. Let me keep scanning. Wasn't there one by Isabella Allende?
Oh, yeah, we missed that
Why
one. I
can't I
have that on
find
the
it?
list.
Yeah.
The name was Amelia Del Valle.
Oh, yes. As Isabella. Yeah.
Yes, Miss Allende just keeps going. She does not quit. This woman's been probably writing for 50 years at this point. I mean, she just
Truly.
doesn't stop. This one's a historical fiction. San Francisco, 1866. An Irish nun abandoned following a torrid relationship with a Chilean aristocrat
Oh,
gives birth to a daughter named Amelia Del Valle. Raised by a loving stepfather, Amelia grows into an independent thinker and a self-sufficient young woman, a riveting tale of self-discovery and love from one of the most masterful storytellers of our time. My name is Amelia Del Valle introduces a character who will never let hold of your heart. So
that sounds really good.
Isabel Allende cannot miss.
At all. Like,
No.
cannot miss.
I really love her. She's one of those authors that I'll just read whatever she writes.
No, truly. Yeah. All she has to do is kind of like touch it. And it's like, yep.
Yeah, I read Violetta in 2024 and I really loved Violetta, but it's a lot of Latino authors are like this too. Like they write these like very long epic life stories. I mean, Violetta was like day by day life of this woman from birth to death. Like it was a very long, but I don't know. I get really wrapped up in all of it. So I love Violetta. So I'm sure this will be just as beautiful.
Oh, it's just going to be beautiful too. So like dig in because you're going to be there for a while. Yes.
Dig in your teeth. And if you've ever taught House of the Spirits is really teachable. One from her.
I have not actually. I don't think I've actually even read it.
Oh, it's so good. House of the Spirit. It's beautiful magical realism. It's really approachable for kids. It's really, really good.
There's one more that I want, which is the second in a series, the Powerless series, the second one. By Lauren Roberts. Yeah, it's called Fearless. That one got a lot of hype on Book Talk and like Instagram, and I liked it. I quite liked Powerless. I'm trying to remember right now. Was it kind of spicy? I don't think it was any spicier than I think it was like Red Queen status, which is like great. I use that one in my classroom.
No, I don't
think it was, but I don't quote me on that, everybody. But yeah, I'm excited for Fearless to come out, which is the second in what will be a trilogy. And I feel like we had one more that you said you wanted to talk about.
There's another beginning of a new fantasy series. It's called, where'd you go? The Notorious Virtue. This is by hold on, Alwyn
Hamilton. Yes.
And she is the author. What did she already write? Oh my gosh. Rebel of the Sands is one of her series, Rebel of the Sands.
Okay.
And so, of
Ooh.
course, I know it's a beautiful fantasy. It's got fancy edges too. It's going to be
It's
really
a
beautiful.
glittering fantasy thriller.
Yes, you've got the 16-year-old heiress at the center of the story. Her family controls all the money and all the magic in the whole county, but despite being the center of attention, Nora has always felt like an outsider. When her mother is found dead in an alley, surprising, the family throne and fortune are suddenly up for grabs, and Nora will be pitted against her cousins in the Veritas, the ultimate magical competition for power that determines the one
You had
family.
me at hello. It said the word glitter in the description. Okay, like you didn't even have to keep going.
I mean, but yay. And I okay, so like this actually is like the perfect bridge, because I think one thing that I'm excited to talk about next week is not the resurgence, the surge of YA books that are doing some of the things that adult books are doing to keep and attract adult readers. YA has heard the call. Like, this is, right, ACOTAR. This is all of the things but like, it's for kids. It's for our teenagers. And I think that for as doom and gloom as the article sounds, there's a lot of really good things happening. I think we just really need to harness better. The amount of choices that kids have of highly engaging things to read is disproportionate with the amount of things that they're actually reading. So we have some massaging and some work to do, but I don't really think it's all doom and gloom for our conversation next week.
No, I don't either. And I'm excited to talk about how we can get ourselves as like educators, right? Let's go back to the educator lens here, how we can get our hands on these stories and like understand them in order to truly help our students like discover and expose them to them. Yeah. So
and
I'm
just
excited to talk about that.
To get them excited about books that are just books, that are not for school or for something else. I mean, it's just, it's impossible with the, what we've been given sometimes, but if we keep talking about it and we keep it front of mind, I think we're going to keep finding creative solutions. We just have to keep going.
I agree. I'm all in.
So let us know if you guys want to write us in, or we're going to post a couple of, reels and stuff on Instagram. Like, let us know what you are looking forward to reading as well. What's on your list, what you've got pre-ordered. We'd love to know what you guys are excited about for the spring.
Yeah, I was going to say, please, if we're already just going to keep building my TBR list, then like give me more, because why stop while we're ahead? Yeah, exactly. All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope we have given you some things to think about, so that you can have an unrealistic expectation for your own spring break coming up, just like me. If you have not already had a chance to take a look at that article from The Atlantic that Amanda was talking about, that is going to be our conversation starting next week, a little mini series, if you will. So we look forward to hearing what you all think about that, and for you to join us right back here for that one.
I feel like I'm going to go mock up a t-shirt design that's like the objective of this episode. Like, teachers will be able to create realistic goals for their to be reading, their to be read after listening to this episode.
Pipe dream TBR. Yes.
Teachers will be able to.
Absolutely delusional TBR. Let's go.
That's the goal. Yes, delusional, I think we've accomplished that goal. By the way,
to live in delusion.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, friends, for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in Happy Hour and the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here, and have a great week at school.